Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Suhaila binti Hadi from Group 1. Today, me and my group members would like to present about MRP, Material Requirement Planning. Let's begin with the definition of MRP first. MRP stands for Material Requirement Planning. Material Requirement Planning is a production planning, scheduling, and inventory control system used to manage manufacturing processes. Most MRP systems are software-based, but it is possible to conduct MRP by hand as well. In a basic definition, it is a planning technique which converts master production schedule of end products into detailed schedule for raw material and part used in those end products. Most of the company use MRP system to track and manage all these dependencies and to calculate the number of items needed by the date specified in the master production schedule.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Syairah binti Atil. Now, on my part, I will explain about the journey history development of MRP, Materials Requirement Planning, and also the company that practices MRP. The implementation and constant innovation surrounding the MRP inventory system has created a long-lasting effect that can still be seen today. Before computer-engineered systems became common in the business world, inventory was recorded by hand. As time went on, users became aware of how inefficient hand-kept inventory was, so that creates a demand in the market for the most productive method. That is why MRP was first started on 1950s in the United States, where the MRP was computerized by aero engine makers associated with General Electric and Rolls-Royce. However, MRP was not commercialized by them. It was reinvented to use the Polaris program. Next, in 1964, IBM's engineer Joseph Orlicki developed and formalized MRP in response to the Toyota manufacturing program. At that time, Black & Decker was the first company to use MRP. By 1970s, MRP had received a major boost from the educational efforts of the American Production and Inventory Control Society, which is also called as EPICS. EPICS became the main source of MRP education and certification. It continues in that role today. Then, in 1980s, Oliver Witt developed MRP1 into MRP2, or known as Manufacturing Resource Planning. So here we can see the development from Materials Requirement Planning to Manufacturing Requirement Planning. This is to make MRP1 becomes more effective for the company to use. Lastly, in 1990s, there was a need for competitiveness, and at that time, MRP1 and MRP2 system were not enough. So then, ERP arises. But what is ERP? ERP is a software that shares information and integrates all areas of the company. Despite that, MRP is still an important part of the ERP software used by manufacturers. As I mentioned before, the first company that practices MRP is Black & Decker, which is in 1964. Black & Decker is an American manufacturer of power tools hardware and home appliances. They have achieved success in using this MRP system. Improvement that Black & Decker made in practicing the MRP is in materials planning and handling and record keeping. Furthermore, it reduced engineering change orders, surplus, obsolete materials and components, and past due receipts from suppliers. Therefore, MRP has helped Black & Decker by producing reasonably correct and timely information. And today, we can see that MRP is still one of the most common and widely used inventory management systems in the world. That's all from me. Now I will pass the presentation to Norisha. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Norisha binti Raidun. Now I will present about MRP scope. A company needs to control the types and quantities of materials they purchase, plan which products are to be produced and in what quantities, and ensure that they are able to meet current and future customer demand at the lowest cost. Making a bad decision in any of these areas will make the company lose the money. Therefore, in MRP scope, there are 3 important questions, which is what items are required, how much it is required, and when are they required. So this is the data that need to be included. The product being created, how much is required at a time, when the quantities are required to meet the demand, shelf life of store materials, inventory status records on quantity on hand and outstanding purchase orders, bills of materials. This is about the details of materials required to make each product. Planning data. This includes such items as routines, labor and machine times, and economic order or production batch size. Then, for the output, there are two outputs, which are output 1. Output 1 is the recommended production schedule. This is a detailed schedule of the required minimum start and completion dates with quantities for each step of the routine and bill of material required to satisfy the demand from the master production schedule. Meanwhile, output 2 is the recommended purchasing schedule. This lays out both the dates that the purchase item should be received and the dates that the purchase order need to be instituted based on the supplier lead times. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Narasakina Mentirasali. Next, I will be presenting on objective of MRP. The first objective is to ensure that raw materials are available for the production when it is required. MRP determines the quantity of material and timing of finished good demanded over a specific planning time. The second objective is to maintain the lowest amount of raw material and finished good in store. MRP keeps inventory under control by ordering material and components in response to order rather than ordering them at the stock level. The last objective is to organize manufacturing, delivery schedule, and purchasing activities. The company can use MRP to ensure that all manufacturing process material updated and valid so that it can improve customer service by meeting delivery schedule. Now, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, good morning. My name is Nur Shahira binti Roslan. Okay, now I'll be presenting about the importance of using the material requirement planning system. Okay, firstly, the first point is inventory levels. Okay, by using MRP system, it enables inventory manager to reduce the level of component parts and raw material inventory. It is because the MRP system works backward from the production scheduling, in which it determines the amount of inventory needed to meet the overall production demand by the customer. Okay, so inventory associated costs are one of the highest costs that incurred in the manufacturing process. But by using the MRP system, it allows the manufacturing process to effectively manage the inventory level, and it also can reduce the cost incurred by the company. Okay, the second point of the importance is based on the production planning. The production of finished good is dependent on the availability of raw materials and component parts. Why we use the MRP system? It is because to ensure that enough materials are produced or purchased based on the available quantity on hand. In case where there is a shortage in inventory, production manager can shift production to the items that have enough materials on hand to begin with. Okay, next, purchasing planning. This portion of software related to what inventory is needed in order to meet demand from our customer. Any information that related to how much material is needed in order to meet product demand will help manager plan for any future facilities expansion. By planning your materials and inventory based on your actual demand, you will know exactly the amount of material you need to store. Next, work scheduling. Okay, MRP system are able to provide a concise visual representation of inventory that is available for the production process. However, if there is not enough inventory available for produce the materials and component, then MRP system will generate production orders immediately so that manager can use this information to schedule labor to meet the needs of the overall process without overstaffing the production line. Next, save time. Having an integrated production planning and scheduling system that can perform MRP will save the time. The MRP system are automated, which means the system will generate the production order or the purchase order based on the inventory level to supply the demand. In addition, all team members have access to the latest data in the real time, which eliminate time wasted on updating each other on changes made to the production. And the last point is customer service improve. Okay, by reducing costs that would typically be used to hold excess inventory and ensuring that materials will be available on time for the production, the MRP system will help manufacturing facility improve their customer satisfaction. Okay, customers are more likely to purchase again from the same vendor when they receive the goods of high quality in a timely manner while they only paying for the lowest amount.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Muhammad, and now I will help you to go through steps and processes of material requirement planning, which is MRP. There are a total of 4 major steps and processes needed for MRP. The first step of MRP process is identifying customer demand and the requirement needed to meet it, which starts with inputting customer's order and also sales forecast. Using the bill of materials required for production, MRP then disassemble demand into the individual components and raw materials needed to complete the build while accounting for any required sub-assemblies. Next, utilizing MRP system helps to check demand against inventory and also allocating resources. It helps manufacturer to locate where the items and know what item that is in stock. It also helps to see the status of an item that is not in physical storage, such as in transit or still ordering. So MRP will also help to move inventory to proper arrangement and also prompts with other recommendation. For the third step, using the master production schedule, the system determines how much time and labor are required to complete each step of each build and when they need to happen so that the production can occur without delay. The production schedule also identifies what machinery and workstation are needed for each step and generates the appropriate work orders, purchase order and also transfer order. If the build requires sub-assemblies, the system takes into account how much time each sub-assembly takes and schedule them accordingly. Last but not least, and finally, the last step, because the MRP links raw material to work orders and customers' orders, it can automatically alert your team when items are delayed and make recommendation for existing orders, automatically moving production in or out, performing what-if analysis, and also generating exception plans to complete the required builds. So I think that's all from my side. All about steps and processes of MRP. Let's go to the next presenter.
The advantages of MRP. First, assurance that material and component will be available when needed. We will always have the right types and amount of material for production, providing there have not been any problems with the supply chains. The beauty of MRP is that if there are supply chains issue, it will be flagged up early, giving us a better chance to rectify the problem in time. Second, optimize inventory management. The function of an MRP system is to ensure that materials are available when they are needed. This can also help ensure that we do not have too much or too little material on hand. Inventory management is an essential, as too much material will incur additional storage costs, while holding too little inventory can lead to delays and unhappy customers. Third is MRP can increase manufacturing efficiency. MRP is the overall planning schedule for the whole company. It gives us to view all the business activities. It is a plan for everything from equipment to staffing, from inventory to delivery, and everything in between. Every step of the manufacturing process is covered in this schedule, and data is extracted at each point on the journey. With that, this helps with production planning, as it gives managers detailed information on the whole process, and it can help with the forecasting and to streamline operation. For instance, managers can track each other throughout the whole system to improve production output. With that, it will result in efficiency of manufacturing. Increase overall customer satisfaction. For example, MRP system improve customer service by reducing the amount of late orders, create high level of productivity, and helps the company respond to changes in demand much quicker. This is because MRP system can automatically calculate this number based on our current inventory level, supplier lead times, and available production capacity, so that it will make accurate deliveries. Next, increase labor productivity. The main goal of MRP is to manage materials. When materials are flowing smoothly within the production facilities, we can save time and decrease costs. With that, employees will be able to work consistently and faster and efficiently if they don't have to stop to retrieve or wait for the materials.
Thank you, Suhaila. And now, I will be presenting on this advantage of MRP. The first one is increased inventory cost. MRP is designed to ensure enough inventory levels at the required times. So, MRP system will predict material shortage earlier, which can lead to the overestimation. So, that is possible for the company to hold more inventory than is necessary. Therefore, it will increase inventory costs. Next, lack of flexibility. There are a variety of factors in the manufacturing that can drastically change. For example, customer change order quantity and supplier deliver late or wrong quantities. With the production schedule, the company might not be able to change quickly enough to avoid any difficulties. It can be tough to stop the process and begin work as well after the production is set to work. The last one is highly depend on data. MRP highly depend on reliable data regarding important input, especially the demand, inventory, and production. If the inputs are inaccurate, the error will be affected at the later stage. For example, if a small firm does not keep a proper inventory records or does not update with all relevant changes in its bill of material, it will cause a problem such as excessive order quantities and missed delivery dates. So, data management is critical for the effective uses of MRP system. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, now I would like to talk about advanced planning and scheduling software that can aid in MRP, helps with manufacturing operation that in need of more efficiency. APS software allows manufacturers to easily view their production process as a whole and helps to improve the area that needs more attention. APS has been used by the global in these modern days, by manufacturers due to high demand, increased product mix, and fast delivery combined with downward cost pressure. It will also help to fill gaps where the system is lacking on planning and scheduling flexibility and accuracy. It will help planner to save time while providing greater ability in updating and overchanging priorities, schedule and inventory plans. It will also optimize schedule balancing production efficiency and delivery performance and maximize on both net resources to increase revenue, synchronize supply with demand to reduce inventories, provide company-wide visibility to the limit. It also enables scenarios that data-driven for decision-making. APS will take manufacturing to the next level of production efficiency, taking the advantages the operational data you have in MRP system. Alright, that's all from us. Thank you for watching.